While I was out handing out flyers, I saw my girlfriend Alicia looking completely disheveled, passionately making out with the school's popular jock inside a sports car. I walked up and knocked on the window. The guy glanced at me and asked her, "Who's this?" Leaning against him, Alicia casually replied, "Just a simp. If you don't like him, I'll dump him right now." After kissing him again, she didn't even spare me another glance before turning away. The jock licked his lips where she had kissed him and sneered, "Get lost. Beautiful girls only belong to strong men." I looked at him calmly and said, "I don't care about my girlfriend, but why are you sitting in my car?" The atmosphere instantly became awkward. The jock tightened his grip on the steering wheel and stared at me in shock. "What do you mean, your car?" "This car belongs to me," I replied. I opened the glove compartment, pulled out the registration papers and showed them to him. "See? My name's on it. Why are you in my car? Are you stealing it? Should I call the police right now?" His face immediately turned red. He hurried out of the car and lowered his voice. "Please don't call the cops. My dad's a mechanic. I thought this car looked cool, so I just borrowed it for a drive." I widened my eyes. "Borrowed? This is theft. Since when do repair shops get to steal customers' cars?" He lowered his head and muttered, "Bro, I'm sorry." I sighed. "Don't call me bro. Let me inspect the car first." He didn't dare argue. A moment later, I noticed a dent on the hood. "What the hell is this?" I asked angrily. The jock panicked. "It's not my fault. Your girlfriend insisted on sitting on the hood to take selfies. She even posted a bunch of provocative photos on her moments. That's the proof." I checked my phone but couldn't find anything. He quickly handed me his phone instead. Turns out Alicia had blocked me. Looking at her WeChat moments, I clicked my tongue. Pretty bold photos. Then I said coldly, "Fine, you can leave now. I'll keep these pictures as evidence. Both of you can wait for a court summons." The jock froze. "Bro, how much is this going to cost?" "About 100,000, I replied. His face instantly went pale. "But she's the one who damaged it," he cried. "Do I still have to pay?" I rolled my eyes. "Do you not understand how the law works? You're both responsible. Looks like your dad's working for free this year." The once arrogant school hunk burst into tears. "That stupid girl," he sobbed. "I already told her the hood is carbon fiber. Only high-end sports cars use that. The hotter it gets, the stronger it becomes. But she couldn't even wait for the engine to warm up before climbing on it for selfies. My parents work so hard, and now we're doomed because of her." I got into my car and called someone to assess the damage. I had no interest in watching him cry. Still wiping his tears, he looked at me in disbelief. "How are you the rich one? Alicia said you work multiple jobs handing out flyers." "I don't work jobs," I replied. "I hand out flyers because those stores belong to my family." I wasn't lying. Half the shops on the pedestrian street, 72 stores in total, belonged to my family. Handing out flyers for our own businesses wasn't strange at all. I rolled up the car window, not wanting to hear any more of his whining. Just then, Alicia texted me, "Since you already saw everything, let's break up. Don't blame me. Blame your loser parents. I'd rather cry in a Lamborghini than laugh on the back of your bicycle while handing out flyers." I stared at the message thoughtfully. Considering that both the Lamborghini and the bicycle were mine, should she be crying or laughing? I wanted to reply, "See you in court." But by then she had already blocked me. Couldn't believe it. She owed me 100,000 in repair costs, and she still blocked me. Ignoring the fact that it was the girls' dormitory, I rushed straight there and headed for Alicia's room. Luckily, it was still morning, so not many people were around. Just as I reached her door and was about to knock, I heard a woman inside ask, "Did you really do what I told you?" Then Alicia answered, "Yeah. I lied to him and told him I took the pill." The woman sounded excited. "Perfect opportunity. I calculated your cycle. You were most likely to get pregnant these past couple of days, which is why I told you to go on that date. Once you're pregnant, you can marry into a rich family." Alicia sounded nervous. "What if he forces me to get an abortion?" The woman laughed coldly. As long as you're pregnant, I have ways to make him take responsibility for the baby. You even dumped your boyfriend for him. Let's see if he still dares refuse to take responsibility. I was genuinely shocked that Alicia would go this far. She was actually planning to trap the campus heartthrob into marriage by getting pregnant with his child. I couldn't help wondering what kind of expression she'd have once she found out that her precious heartthrob had actually stolen my car. I knocked on Alicia's dorm room door. The moment she saw me, she frowned in annoyance. I already broke up with you, she snapped. Why are you still bothering me? Being poor isn't the problem. But being poor and shamelessly pestering a girl? That's just disgusting. It was obvious Alicia thought I had come to beg for her back. There were 2 other girls in the dorm, her roommates, both of whom I knew. Before I could even speak, one of them immediately said, "Can you stop getting in the way of Alicia pursuing her own happiness?" I was completely speechless. So cheating on your boyfriend and making out with another guy in a sports car was now considered pursuing happiness? I recognized the roommate instantly. She was Alicia's best friend, Eva, the same girl who had just encouraged Alicia to get pregnant on purpose. Back when Alicia and I first started dating, Eva constantly filled her head with toxic ideas. She'd always say things like, "A man's love depends on how much money he spends on you." Because of Eva's influence, I ended up buying Alicia a lot of expensive gifts. And now I was here to take them back. I looked at Alicia and said calmly, "We can break up, but the phone you're using belongs to me, so return it." I deliberately didn't mention that the sports car was mine too. Knowing Alicia's personality, she'd probably shamelessly try crawling back to me if she found out the truth. First, I needed my belongings back. Alicia frowned immediately and said coldly, "So you're actually this petty? Can't you think about my feelings for once?" I almost laughed from disbelief. You cheated on me, humiliated me, and now I'm supposed to care about your feelings? Eva suddenly covered her mouth and laughed mockingly. "Can't you see through his trick?" she said to Alicia. "Asking for the gifts back is just an excuse. He's only doing this because he can't accept the breakup and wants to make things difficult for you." Alicia sneered. "So that's your game? You think if I can't bear to return the phone, I won't leave you?" She lifted her chin proudly. "Have you forgotten? My current boyfriend is rich." Eva immediately chimed in. "Exactly. I looked it up already. The heartthrob's Lamborghini costs millions. Buying you a new phone would be nothing for him." Alicia smirked at me. "Fine, I'll return the phone," she said. "But let me make one last call first. I'll show you exactly why I dumped you. The gap between you and a rich man is something you'll never overcome in your entire life." I almost found it funny. Was the rich man she was talking about seriously that school heartthrob? I clearly remembered bringing my car to his dad's repair shop before. His father had sighed while working, saying business was terrible lately and they barely earned enough to cover rent. Alicia made the call, and Eva immediately urged her, "Put it on speaker. Let him hear it too. Let him understand the difference between himself and real rich people." Alicia nodded smugly and turned on speakerphone as if she were showing off. The moment the call connected, she spoke in a pitiful voice. "Brother, my ex-boyfriend came to break up with me and wants the phone he bought me back. If I don't have a phone anymore, how will I contact you in the future?" But instead of comforting her, the heartthrob exploded in rage. "You damn bitch!" he shouted over the phone. "Don't ever let me see you again, or I'll beat you every single time I do." The room instantly fell silent. Both Alicia and Eva froze in shock. Then the call abruptly ended. Alicia stared blankly at her phone, unable to process what had just happened. Eva was the first to react. She angrily grabbed a book from her bed and threw it at me. "You must have said something downstairs," she yelled. "You badmouthed my best friend, didn't you?" The moment Alicia heard that, she became furious too. "Yeah," she shouted. "He never treated me like this before. You must have slandered me behind my back. How can you be this disgusting and shameless?" I rubbed my forehead impatiently. "I didn't say anything about you," I replied coldly. "Now give me back my stuff." If you didn't badmouth me, Alicia yelled. Then why would he suddenly act like this? I almost couldn't be bothered explaining anymore. Because of the provocative selfies she posted while sitting on the hood of the car, the heartthrob now owed a massive repair bill. Considering his family's income, how could he possibly not hate her? Eva sneered again. That's exactly why I encouraged you to go after the heartthrob, she said mockingly. I already saw through this poor loser a long time ago. He's just a pathetic simp who only knows how to play dirty tricks behind your back. Eva sneered. I looked at her and asked coldly, so you admit you were involved in her cheating on me? Cheating? Eva scoffed. My best friend was trapped in a dead-end relationship, so of course I helped her get out of it. Was I supposed to let her ruin her future by marrying you? She'll thank me for the rest of her life. Alicia was already getting impatient. She crossed her arms and said coldly, You can take the phone back, but I have one condition. You need to apologize to the heartthrob right now and admit you lied about me. Yeah, Eva snapped. Even if you have to kneel and apologize, you better clear my best friend's name. I picked up the phone calmly and replied, Why would I apologize for something I didn't do? Besides, we still haven't settled our accounts. Then I walked straight into the dorm room, sat down at the desk, and started calculating everything. During the entire relationship, I had bought Alicia countless gifts and sent her plenty of money transfers. I planned to get every cent back. Alicia looked at me in disbelief. All my roommates are here. We used to love each other. Do you really have to embarrass me like this? I ignored her and kept calculating. Suddenly, Eva pulled out her phone and snapped a photo of me. With obvious disgust on her face, she said, Today I met the ultimate loser. I'm posting this on social media right now so everyone can see what kind of pathetic guy you are. At first I thought she was bluffing, but when I checked my phone, I realized she had actually uploaded it. The caption read, OMG, girls should never date poor guys. The poorer they are, the more troublesome they become. My best friend got stuck with one and it's terrifying. I frowned. This is a personal matter between us. Why are you so obsessed with bringing up money? You might as well tattoo gold digger on your forehead. Eva sneered. Yeah, I like rich guys. So what? Are you jealous? If you were rich, you'd be the one insulting me right now instead of sitting there looking pathetic. The more she talked, the more worked up she became. She walked over to the window and pointed downstairs dramatically. Rich men drive million-dollar Lamborghinis. They're ambitious and successful. Poor losers like you just sit around calculating expenses and making girls regret ever loving you. At that moment, another roommate finally spoke up. Alicia, why don't you just pay him back? She said quietly. This was your fault in the first place. The atmosphere instantly changed. Alicia's face darkened. What do you mean by that? Are you taking his side? Eva immediately sneered. Isn't it obvious? You found yourself a rich boyfriend with a Lamborghini, and now she's jealous. That's why she's deliberately attacking you and spreading nonsense. The girl's face flushed red with anger. Don't falsely accuse me. I knew her. Her name was Lisa, a hardworking student from a poor family. Back when Alicia wanted to show off, she had asked me to buy desserts for everyone in the dorm. Lisa was the only one who refused, saying she couldn't accept things she hadn't earned herself. That left a strong impression on me. Alicia sighed dramatically and said, Lisa, I know your family is poor and you depend on scholarships and student loans to study. I understand if you resent rich people. But honestly, being a good person matters more than getting good grades. Lisa stared at her in disbelief. Are you saying I'm not a good person? I was stunned too. Lisa was hardworking, responsible, and excellent both academically and personally. Meanwhile, Alicia had just cheated on her boyfriend in a sports car right in front of me, and somehow she still had the nerve to lecture someone else about morals? What kind of ridiculous logic was this? Eva folded her arms and sneered. I know girls like you, poor girls who pretend to be innocent and pure. Now that he's single, you're acting all righteous to get his attention. She laughed mockingly before continuing. You know you'll never have a chance with a guy who drives a Lamborghini. So now you're trying to steal a broke guy who hands out flyers for $3,000 a month. Lisa clenched her fists angrily and stood up. I work part-time as a tutor too, she shot back. I make $2,000 a month myself. Eva looked at her with complete disdain. To poor people like you, even mosquito meat counts as food. Yesterday I even saw you picking up food from the table to eat. Of course you're desperate enough not to care what kind of man you date. Lisa's eyes instantly turned red. Her voice trembled with humiliation. The food fell on the table, not the floor, she argued softly. What's wrong with not wasting food? Enough! Alicia suddenly shouted, interrupting everyone. She slammed her phone onto the table and glared at me. You're seriously embarrassing me right now. My biggest mistake was ever dating you. Hurry up and finish calculating everything so I can go explain things to my new boyfriend. Eva quickly chimed in. Don't worry, sis. I'll go with you. Once we explain things clearly, the rumors will disappear, and you'll still be the precious little darling of a rich man. At this point, I couldn't even be bothered arguing with them anymore. I focused on finishing the calculations. Of course, I still didn't mention the sports car repair costs. I was worried Alicia might shamelessly try to get back together with me if she learned the truth. After adding everything up, I finally reached a total. During the 1 year we dated, I had spent $18,000 on Alicia through gifts and money transfers alone. After finishing the calculations, even I was shocked. Dating really was expensive. I only spent a few hundred a month on myself for living expenses, so I had never realized just how much money I'd poured into the relationship until I actually added everything up. Not only was I stunned, but Alicia and Eva looked shocked too. After all, we were all students. Coming up with over $10,000 wasn't easy for people our age. At first, they didn't believe my calculations, but after checking everything several times, they finally had to admit the numbers were correct. Alicia's expression became troubled. $18,000? I can't come up with that much money right now. Eva immediately panicked and grabbed her arm. Don't be scared, sis. I'll help you pay it back. How you treat this loser right now will affect how the heartthrob sees you. Even if we have to borrow money from loan sharks, we'll return it. She lowered her voice dramatically. You need to completely cut ties with this poor guy if you want a chance to marry into a rich family. Eventually, Alicia was persuaded. She nodded reluctantly. Okay. We'll figure out a way to borrow the money. My parents absolutely can't find out about this, or they'll kill me. I honestly didn't know what to say. If $18,000 was enough to get her killed, then what would happen once the nearly $100,000 repair bill for the sports car arrived at her house? Her parents would probably want to skin her alive. The two of them immediately started contacting people to borrow money. Surprisingly, it worked pretty well. Their classmates each lent them a few hundred here and there, and the money slowly started piling up. Even Alicia looked surprised at how easy it was. I guess I really do have a good reputation, she said proudly. Everyone's willing to help me. Eva laughed knowingly. It's because of those selfies you posted. You're sitting on $1 million sports car in those pictures. Of course people are willing to lend you a little money. They think you're connected to someone rich. Alicia suddenly understood. She glanced at me smugly and said, See the difference now? That's the charm of a real man. People admire him so much that they're willing to help me just to get close to him. Then she added coldly, If I were still dating you, do you think anyone would help me when I was in trouble? Eva snorted. Trouble? Dating him was already the biggest tragedy of your life. They kept borrowing money until they finally managed to gather a little over $8,000. But they were still short by $10,000. Eva gritted her teeth. I know someone from the underground. He can lend me the rest, but if we can't pay him back, things will get ugly. Alicia looked nervous. What happens if we can't repay it? Don't worry about that for now, Eva said quickly. Your new boyfriend is rich. $10,000 means nothing to him. Soon after, Eva contacted the so-called underground lender, basically a private loan shark. The man handed over $10,000 without even hesitating. Once they finally scraped together all the money and paid me back, Alicia angrily threw the phone at me. You satisfied now? She snapped. Get lost. From now on, we have nothing to do with each other. I nodded calmly, then turned toward Lisa. Can you come outside with me for a minute? I asked. Lisa looked startled, clearly confused about why I was suddenly calling her out. Eva instantly sneered. I knew these two had something going on. The second Alicia paid him back, they hooked up. I felt completely helpless listening to her nonsense. The only reason I wanted to speak to Lisa was because she worked in the student council and had access to the student contact directory. Since I planned to send a court summons to Alicia's family, I needed her home address. Lisa's face turned bright red. She lowered her head and quietly followed me outside anyway. Behind us, Eva mocked loudly again. You're really going with him? Guess you're only worthy of taking Alicia's leftovers. Lisa looked like she was about to cry. I don't have feelings like that, she said weakly. Eva rolled her eyes and cursed. Pretentious little saint. Keep acting innocent. No wonder your whole family is poor. It's in your blood. You're so desperate you'll even try pleasing a guy who hands out flyers. She laughed cruelly. You really have no standards. It's obvious what kind of family you came from. Alicia looked at us with complete disdain and sneered. Good thing I broke up with him. This useless man suits you perfectly. Then she coldly added, a whore and a dog. May you two stay together forever. I ignored them and led Lisa out into the dormitory hallway. After a moment of silence, Lisa spoke softly. I only defended you because I was angry at what they were saying, she explained nervously. Please don't misunderstand. I just want to focus on studying hard. I really don't have those kinds of intentions. I nodded. I know. You're busy trying to earn scholarships and working as a tutor. You don't even have time for romance. Lisa blinked in surprise. Then, why did you ask me to come out here? I know you have access to the contact directory, I said. Can you give me Alicia's home address? Lisa instantly panicked. What are you planning to do? She asked nervously. Don't do anything reckless. She looked genuinely worried and even grabbed my hand anxiously. Looking straight into my eyes, she said seriously, we may be poor, but we still have dignity. Other people might be in the wrong, but don't ruin your own future because of their mistakes. The hallway suddenly fell silent. For a moment, I didn't even know how to respond. Did this girl seriously think I was planning to drag Alicia's whole family down with me? Lisa suddenly realized she had grabbed my hand in panic. She quickly let go, her face turning red. You're hardworking and determined, she said softly. You deserve a better life. I believe that 10 years from now, Alicia will regret the choices she made today. I shook my head. It won't even take 10 years. I already asked the dealership to inspect the damage. If her family lives in the city, she'll regret it very soon. Lisa blinked in confusion. What do you mean? I calmly told her that the sports car downstairs actually belonged to me. She stared at me completely dumbfounded. I explained everything that had happened from beginning to end, and she was left speechless all over again. It wasn't until I showed her the vehicle registration papers that she finally believed me. When Lisa went to get the student contact directory for me, she walked around like she was in a trance, probably wondering if she was dreaming. A little while later, she sent me Alicia's home address. Surprisingly, it was only a few kilometers away from the dealership. What a coincidence. I called the dealership again, and they told me the damage assessment report would be delivered within 10 minutes. Then I suddenly remembered something. Alicia had already returned the phone I bought her. How was I supposed to contact her later to collect the debt? After thinking about it, I decided to let her keep the phone temporarily. So I headed back to Alicia's dorm room. The moment she saw me return, she frowned impatiently. Why are you back again? I held out the phone and said calmly, I know you don't have a phone right now, so you can borrow this one for a couple more days. Eva instantly clutched her chest dramatically and pretended to gag. Oh my God! I'm going to throw up, she mocked. I knew it. This pathetic simp is doing this on purpose. He's trying to play some on-again, off-again emotional game with you. Alicia crossed her arms and snapped. Do you really think I'm stupid? Can you stop bothering me already? You're embarrassing me in front of my roommates. Just then, Eva's phone suddenly rang. She looked down at the screen in confusion. Alicia, Why are your parents calling me? I paused for a second. The dealership really worked fast. It seemed Alicia's parents couldn't get through to her directly, so they contacted Eva instead. Alicia quickly grabbed the phone. Mom? What happened? This time, she didn't put the call on speaker, but her mother's furious yelling was loud enough for everyone in the room to hear clearly. Don't call me Mom, her mother screamed. Do you have any idea how hard your father and I work for money? You've completely ruined this family. The sudden scolding left Alicia frozen in shock. What did I do? She stammered. Clutching the phone, Alicia hurried into the corner of the dorm room. As the conversation continued, tears suddenly started pouring down her face. Eva rushed over nervously. Sis, what happened? Alicia sobbed uncontrollably. I know why the heartthrob suddenly got angry at me. I dented his car by sitting on it, and now he wants my family to pay for the repairs. She broke down even harder. The estimate is $137,000. Where is my family supposed to get that kind of money? Even Eva was stunned. How is that even possible? You only sat on it. The repair bill was delivered to my house, Alicia cried. My mom took a picture of it and sent it to me. She told me to check my phone. At this point, Alicia's legs gave out completely. She collapsed onto the bed in a daze. Eva bit her lip nervously before suddenly saying, Don't panic. I think I have a solution. Alicia looked up immediately. What solution? Eva lowered her voice. At this point, the important thing is whether you're pregnant or not. If you're carrying his baby, would he really dare ask you to pay for the repairs? Alicia's eyes instantly lit up. She nodded quickly. Right. Even if he doesn't care about me, he has to care about his child, doesn't he? Eva became more excited the more she talked. Exactly. And if he still dares demand the money, then go make a huge scene at his house. Alicia let out a long sigh. Originally, I wanted to use the baby to marry into a rich family. Who would have thought it'd end up just being used to cover repair costs? Eva quickly comforted her. Over $100,000 isn't a small amount. Your parents would need years to save that kind of money. Then she added excitedly, Besides, who says you still can't marry into a wealthy family? Maybe his parents will force him to marry you. Not only will they cover the repair bill, they might even buy you another car. Listening to them, I honestly started wondering whether I should remind Alicia out of basic human decency. Even if she really did get pregnant with the heartthrob's child, it still wouldn't exempt her from paying for the damage she caused to my car. I started to say, but before I could finish, Alicia shot me a venomous glare. She stormed over, snatched the phone out of my hand, and snapped, Don't say another word. Just get lost. I'm already in a terrible mood, and I don't want to hear your voice. Eva immediately backed her up. Yeah, get lost already. We're trying to figure out how to calm the heartthrob down. I awkwardly replied, Maybe you should at least read the documents first. Get lost, loser, Eva shouted. We have nothing to discuss with you. If you keep bothering Alicia, we'll report you for harassment and see you in court. I nodded calmly. Fine by me. After all, we were probably going to end up in court anyway. At that moment, Alicia picked up her phone and sent a voice message to the heartthrob. Please come downstairs to my dorm, she said softly. I want to talk to you, please. The reply came almost instantly. She played it out loud. Sure, you slut. The heartthrob's voice barked through the speaker. I want to talk to you too. Get downstairs now. Alicia slowly lowered the phone, looking nervous. With that attitude, do you think he'll really forgive me? Eva grabbed her arm and encouraged her. Go downstairs and apologize properly. I'll go with you. Then she glared at me again. Move out of the way. I ignored her completely and turned to leave the dorm. Just as I reached the stairs, Lisa came back. Meanwhile, Alicia and Eva walked ahead of us toward the entrance. Lisa glanced at me quietly and asked, Are you really going to make Alicia pay that much money? I'm not extorting her, I replied calmly. She should pay for the damage she caused. But honestly what? Lisa asked. I looked toward Alicia and Eva downstairs. I think they're begging the wrong person. This could get awkward. When we got downstairs, the heartthrob was already waiting there. The first thing anyone would notice was the bright red slap mark on his face. He stood by the roadside wiping away tears like he had just been beaten up. If I had to guess, he'd gone home, confessed everything to his dad, and received some very loving fatherly discipline in return. Both Alicia and Eva were stunned when they saw him. Eva whispered, "Seriously? His family is so rich, and he's crying like this over a car?" Alicia looked worried. Maybe he really loves that car. Every time we went out, he was always super careful with it. Eva sighed dramatically. People say a car is a man's second wife. I guess it's true. I rolled my eyes internally. I definitely didn't treat my car like a wife. And besides, why wouldn't he be protective of it? It was my car. Alicia quickly ran over to him and spoke pitifully. "Baby, let me explain." "Explain to your grandfather, you bitch." The heartthrob finally exploded. He rushed forward, grabbed Alicia by the hair, and slapped her hard across the face. Neither Alicia nor Eva had expected him to actually hit her. Eva hurried forward in panic to stop him, while Alicia tearfully cried, "Baby, if you're angry, then hit me. It's my fault. I won't do it again. Let me make it up to you for the rest of my life." "I don't need your compensation," the heartthrob roared. Then he started punching her directly in the face. As the blows kept coming, both Alicia and Eva finally realized something was seriously wrong. The crowd of students nearby stared in shock. Just moments earlier, Alicia had been the envy of everyone after stepping out of a luxury sports car. Now she was standing in public, being dragged around by the hair and beaten by the same rich heartthrob she had proudly shown off. Eva screamed anxiously, "Stop! You're hitting her too hard. She's a girl." But the heartthrob didn't stop. One punch landed so hard that Alicia's front tooth flew out. Alicia covered her mouth in horror, blood dripping from her lips. She bent down frantically to pick up the tooth while crying, "Stop hitting me. My tooth fell out." "Eva, hurry and get some milk." I nodded thoughtfully. "Smart move. If you put a knocked-out tooth in milk quickly enough, there's still a chance it can be reattached." Lisa looked at me in disbelief. "Are you seriously enjoying this?" "What? Of course not," I replied with complete seriousness. "We were in love once. Seeing her like this makes me sad too." Lisa stared at me suspiciously. "Then why are you smiling?" "I'm naturally cheerful," I answered. "People who smile a lot usually have good luck." After getting beaten for so long, Alicia finally remembered I existed. Covering her bloody mouth, she glared at me and cried, "You're really not a man. I've been beaten this badly, and you still won't help me?" I replied honestly, "Didn't you just say that if I bothered you again, we'd meet in court?" The heartthrob, who had been too furious to notice me earlier, finally turned toward me after hearing my voice. He slowly let go of Alicia and walked in my direction. Eva immediately rushed over and said, "Heartthrob, I know you're angry, but do you know how much Alicia has suffered for you? That loser was bullying her earlier. If she didn't love you so much, would she have endured all that?" "Shut up!" the heartthrob shouted furiously. "Your whole family are losers." Eva instantly fell silent. It was funny. She had been arrogant and aggressive when talking to me, but now that she was facing the rich guy she admired so much, she suddenly became completely obedient. The heartthrob stopped right in front of me. I wondered how he planned to apologize. But then, to everyone's shock, he suddenly dropped to his knees in front of me. Tears filled his eyes as he cried out, "Bro, I'm sorry. Please, forgive me." At that moment, it felt like the entire world had gone silent. Everyone around us stared at me in complete shock. The students watching were stunned speechless. Eva's whole body trembled with disbelief. Lisa quietly lowered her head without saying a word. Alicia, meanwhile, was still covering the spot where her tooth had been knocked out. Blood suddenly started dripping from her nose. She tried sniffing it back up but ended up choking and coughing painfully instead. No one had expected things to turn out like this. Honestly, even I hadn't expected it. I let out a sigh. If you knew it would end this way, why do it in the first place? Eva looked completely dazed. Why are you apologizing to him? I glanced at the heartthrob and said calmly, go ahead. Tell everyone why you're apologizing to me. Still crying, the heartthrob lowered his head and said, I shouldn't have stolen your car just to show off. I shouldn't have stolen your girlfriend either. I'm disgusting. Please forgive me. He wiped his tears and continued, I already told my dad everything, but our family is struggling just to pay rent. We can't afford the repair costs. I nodded slightly. Your dad works hard. That's exactly why I trusted your family's repair shop with my car. Then I looked at him coldly. Who would have thought a hard-working mechanic would raise a son like you? The heartthrob completely broke down. I'll never do it again. If you can just give us more time to repay the money, I'll do anything you ask. Alicia stood frozen in place. What repair shop? She muttered blankly. What car maintenance? What do you mean he stole a car? I shrugged calmly. The truth is literally right in front of you. Her trembling finger slowly pointed toward the sports car nearby. That car, she stammered. It belongs to you? I nodded. Yeah, it's mine. Her entire expression froze. Then her lips started shaking as tears streamed down her face. How are you the rich one? She cried. Weren't you just the guy handing out flyers? I do hand out flyers, I replied calmly. For my own stores. Ignoring the blood on her face and the missing tooth, Alicia limped toward me in a panic and grabbed my arm tightly. Baby, please let me explain. I'm not your baby anymore, I interrupted coldly. We already broke up. Then I reached out and placed a hand on the heartthrob's shoulder. He swallowed nervously and looked at me with pleading eyes. This is your mistake, I told him. Not your father's. Honestly, I should thank you. You helped me see my girlfriend's true colors. I paused for a second before continuing. Since you accidentally helped me out, I'll help you once too. After thinking for a moment, I added, you're graduating next year anyway. We can negotiate the compensation amount, and once you start working, I'll let you repay it over 3 years. The heartthrob looked shocked. Really? I nodded. Yeah, your father shouldn't have to suffer for your mistakes. Then I glanced at Alicia and added casually, but knocking out her front tooth is probably going to cost you a lot. The heartthrob instantly looked furious again. I'm not paying her a single cent, he shouted. At worst, I'll go to jail and get a criminal record. It's not like I was planning to take civil service exams anyway. I raised an eyebrow. You'd seriously rather go to jail than compensate her? Absolutely, he said viciously. This bitch doesn't deserve a penny from me. I patted him hard on the shoulder and laughed. Now that's finally a sensible answer. Then I grinned. I'll knock 1,000 off your debt as a reward. By now, Alicia was completely dumbfounded. Tears streamed down her face as she whimpered, Baby, I really know I was wrong. Can you give me another chance? Then she suddenly spun around and pointed at Eva furiously. It's all because of this bitch, she screamed. Eva stood there blankly, unable to react. You're the one who encouraged me. Alicia cried hysterically. I loved my boyfriend so much. Why did I listen to your lies? I was already tired of watching the drama. So I casually said, by the way, remember to take the morning after pill. Don't actually get pregnant. Everyone froze. It's not because I care about you, I continued calmly. I just know your personality. If you got pregnant, you'd probably end up getting an abortion anyway. I don't want an innocent life destroyed before it even gets a chance to exist because of your terrible character. Alicia's face instantly turned pale. At the same time, Eva suddenly burst into tears too. What about the money I borrowed for you? She cried desperately. Are you seriously not paying it back? Alicia immediately turned on her. You caused all of this misery. Why should I repay your debt? Eva collapsed emotionally. If I don't repay that money, those people will beat me to death. I shrugged casually. If you're scared of owing money to loan sharks, then pay them back. Eva cried even harder. Where am I supposed to get 10,000 from? Lisa suddenly clenched her fists angrily and stepped forward. You mocked me for picking food up off the table, she snapped. But your own family can't even come up with 10,000. You're poor too, so what right did you have to bully other poor people? Then she coldly added, You deserve this. Eva completely collapsed onto the ground, sobbing uncontrollably. I smiled faintly at Alicia and said, Goodbye. Unless it's about repaying money, don't contact me again. Otherwise, I'll report you for harassment. Then I turned toward Lisa and asked casually, Now that the villains got punished, how about we go grab something to eat? You can ride in my car. Lisa immediately stared at me like I was insane. Are you drunk in the middle of the day? She asked. Why would I get into your car or go eat with you? Realizing she actually had a point, I awkwardly scratched my nose. I got into my sports car and drove away. In the end, Alicia's family and the Heartthrob's family reached an agreement and split the repair costs equally. I heard that when Alicia got home, her parents beat her so badly she was almost half dead. They even broke her leg. And yes, it was literally broken. She had to wear a cast for a long time. The worst part was that the bone didn't heal properly. After that, she walked with a limp, and doctors said the only way to fix it completely would be to break the leg again and reset it. Feeling too ashamed to face everyone, Alicia never returned for her final year of college. Eva, on the other hand, did come back to school. But every time she appeared on campus, people mocked her and called her a traitor to the poor. Because of the money she owed the loan sharks, Eva desperately searched for work. Unfortunately for her, her reputation had already spread everywhere, and nobody wanted to hire her. Eventually, she came to me and begged for a job. I happened to own a few cheap restaurants, so I hired her to clean the toilets. She used to look down on poor people, so now she could clean toilets for them instead. All she could do was cry while scrubbing the bathrooms. Word about her situation spread quickly around campus too. Some students even came to those restaurants on purpose just to dirty the toilets again after she had cleaned them, forcing her to clean everything repeatedly. As for Alicia, after dropping out of school, she constantly tried contacting me and begged me to get back together with her. I blocked her number, but she kept switching to new ones just to continue harassing me. Eventually, I did exactly what she once threatened me with. I sued her. That finally scared her enough to stop contacting me. As for Lisa and me, nothing ever happened between us. She was a disciplined and independent girl, completely different from Alicia and the people around her. During our final year of college, Lisa never contacted me once. After graduation, she returned to her hometown to become a teacher. She told me there were many poor children there, and she wanted to help them have a better future. I truly admired her character. I reached out to her a few times afterward, but she clearly wasn't interested in dating anyone. The only time she ever asked me for help was when she wanted to organize a clothing donation drive for the children in her hometown. I donated some old clothes, and after that we gradually lost contact. But even now, I still remember what she once told me about dignity. That remarkable girl. I genuinely hope life treats her well and takes her far.